The most beloved figure in America's toxic conservative movement is Hungarian dictator Viktor Orbán. This detestable Putin-loving autocrat has crushed independent media in his country, weakened democracy, and regularly riles up his base by trotting out homophobic, racist, and anti-Semitic tropes. If you want to know the endgame for Republicans, look to Hungary. American conservatives are so enthralled by Hungarian hate and its system of autocracy that CPAC is hosting its conference in Budapest this week, the second time it has done so in 2 years. At CPAC, Orbán called liberalism a virus and attacked woke culture and LGBTQ rights. A sign that read, "No country for woke men," hung at the entrance to the conference. The dictator predicted that what he refers to as his nation's illiberal democracy will be exported to the rest of the West, particularly the United States of America. Orbán said to a thunderous applause and a standing ovation, quote, "Hungary is actually an incubator where experiments are done on the future of conservative policies. Hungary is the place where we didn't just talk about defeating the progressives and liberals and causing a conservative Christian political turn, but we actually did it." The idea of an illiberal democracy is incoherent and contradictory. The noxious notion that a country can be free, yet push a particular faith, is anathema to religious freedom. Progressivism can't be defeated because it represents ideas held by many Hungarian citizens. What Orbán is really saying, if you think about it, is that he rigged the system, particularly crushing the media, to ensure that his rigid, backward ideas have hegemony over competing viewpoints. That's not real democracy, nor is it genuine victory. It's simply orchestrating force to suppress dissent. It's really the opposite of what America is supposed to stand for. Unfortunately, if Republicans regain control of the White House and the Senate, his words may be prescient. Orbán is the inspiration for America's leading conservatives, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' Don't Say Gay law was modeled on similar anti-LGBTQ legislation in Hungary. CPAC is led by Matt Schlapp, who shares Orbán's approach to banning legitimate media. Virtually all news outlets were prohibited from covering the CPAC conference. Why is the conservative movement so terrified to answer questions? It's bizarre. In an interesting aside, Schlapp was credibly accused by a male former staffer from Herschel Walker's Senate campaign of groping him during a campaign stop. While Schlapp is dealing with the fallout of a gay scandal, Orbán delivered an anti-LGBTQ bromide from stage. Orbán said, quote, "The woke movement and gender ideology are exactly what communism and Marxism used to be." So said the man who acts like a Soviet-era puppet dictator. It's difficult to comprehend the level of Schlapp's self-loathing or Orbán's soulless opportunism. Schlapp is working to replace America's system of government with Hungary's, which ensures that LGBTQ people are second-class citizens. Orbán, for his part, is fine speaking at a conference hosted by an alleged gay groper. This entire stinking scenario highlights the sickness of Schlapp and the insincerity of conservative politics, which is consumed with manipulation to amass raw power and nothing else. The modern conservative movement has no core beliefs. It has no principles or real platform, other than selling the paranoid lie that, quote, "we can protect you from the imaginary enemies who are out to get you." That's what they stand for. To describe the Republican descent into madness as a rabbit hole is no longer sufficient. A rabbit crater is what's necessary to contain the eruption of conspiracies, lies, and demagoguery that define modern conservatism. The fact that CPAC looks to Hungary as a model for the Republican Party shows the GOP's post-January 6th commitment to destroying democracy and limiting civil liberties. When the conservative movement is bowing down to a totalitarian tyrant like Viktor Orbán, it's time to admit that the Republican Party is a menace to America and our largest national security challenge.